In a world where shared cinematic universes are the norm, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe dominating the market, the DC Extended Universe trying very hard to keep up, or the very sad, very non-existent Horror Monsters universe of Universal Studios, which died before it even started, there's one film universe more interconnected and subtle than them all. Quentin Tarantino has been quietly building his cinematic universe from his very first movie, way before it was cool. With references, characters, fictional brands, and all kinds of connective tissue, he has a way of creating a world that's authentic and vast across multiple films. So how exactly are all Tarantino films connected? Unlike our other film universes, the Tarantino universe in true Tarantino fashion is non-linear and jumps back and forth. So here we go. Tarantino's first film, 1992's Reservoir Dogs, named the greatest independent film of all time, cemented his career as one of the leading genre film directors of our time. A film about a jewelry heist gone way wrong features an ensemble cast of criminals that all go by code names, so we never really get to know the true identities of the literally colorful characters in the film. We do learn one of their names, however, the ear-chopping dancer Vic Vega. Vic Vega's dancing gene is shared by his brother Vincent Vega, one of the stars of Tarantino's 1994 film Pulp Fiction. They both share a love for the dance, sipping milkshakes, and gratuitous violence. Back to Reservoir Dogs. When we first meet Vic, he's fresh out of jail, sharing his disdain for his parole officer Seymour Scagnetti. Scagnetti's got a brother too, Detective Jack Scagnetti, who is famous for tracking down and catching a pair of star-crossed serial-killing lovers named Mickey and Mallory Knox in the Tarantino scripted Natural Born Killers, which came out in 1994. We also learn in Reservoir Dogs that Mr. White, Harvey Keitel's character, was once mentoring a call girl named Alabama, Patricia Arquette's character from True Romance, another Tarantino script from 1993. True Romance is the intense love story of Alabama and Clarence, who end up with a big bag of cocaine, which they then decide to sell to a big shot producer called Lee Donowitz. Before Lee cemented his legacy as a movie-making mogul, his dad, Sergeant Donnie Donowitz, was busy in World War II busting Nazis' heads in as the infamous Bear Jew in the 2009 movie Inglourious Basterds. As you can tell, the timelines are all over the place. So let's jump back to Pulp Fiction. Vincent Vega, tasked with taking Marcellus Wallace's wife out, is told about her short-lived acting career, which included a pilot for a show called Fox Force 5, the main characters of which are perfect descriptions of the main characters of Tarantino's 2003 to 2004 two-film story Kill Bill. The Deadly Viper Assassination Squad and the Fox Force 5 are one and the same, comprising of the blonde leader or the California Mountain Snake, the Japanese Kung Fu master or Cottonmouth, the black demolition expert or Copperhead, the French seductress or Sophie Fatale, and Mia Wallace herself, the bride. But how does this work? Are the girls moonlighting as actresses but actually part of an assassination squad who also make a show about themselves? Tarantino has actually mentioned that he operates in two universes. There's the real world, where most of his characters exist. Then there's the film world within the real world, where other stories come from. So Kill Bill is a movie within the Tarantino universe. So the TV show Fox Force 5 didn't take off, but eventually was made into a movie, presumably restarting Mia Wallace's acting career. In a scene in Kill Bill, the bride is buried alive in the grave of Paula Schultz. Paula's husband is a former dentist turned bounty hunter by the name of Dr. King Schultz, played by Christoph Waltz, who ends up freeing Django and helping him find his wife in the 2012 film Django Unchained. The 2015 film Hateful Eight was supposedly originally conceived as an Inglourious Basterds follow-up, and some elements of that still remain. Tim Roth's character isn't actually named Oswaldo Mowbray, but instead English Pete Highcox, and is actually an ancestor of Archie Highcox, the film critic turned British lieutenant played by Michael Fassbender in the 2009 film. Earl and Ed McGraw play two Texas Rangers in From Dusk Till Dawn, Kill Bill, and Grindhouse, rounding up all the films. In addition to characters that share the same world, Tarantino also created a bunch of products and brands that are scattered throughout the universe to add a sense of cohesion and connection. Geo Juice, Big Kahuna Burger, and Red Apple cigarettes can be found all over the place in some form in nearly every movie. The only film that doesn't neatly fit into this vast world is Jackie Brown. But that can easily be explained as being a movie within a movie, and although there's no real evidence of that, don't you want it to be true? These are the big obvious connections. There are a lot of smaller, more obscure connections that require a lot of digging throughout the films, which is what makes watching and rewatching these films so much fun. The big question now is, how does Once Upon a Time in Hollywood fit into all this? The film is set in 1969, so a lot of stories like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction come after this. This is going to be the first film in the universe that sort of blends the real and movie world together, with the characters of Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth existing in the real world but making movies for the movie universe. One obvious connection is Kurt Russell, who plays an unknown character in this movie and played the sadistic stunt driver Stuntman Mike in Death Proof. Although the timelines are somewhat off, he could be playing his older brother or maybe even his father, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye out if it means rounding out the world.